who now has to decide if the shooting was justified. Melissa Luck is here, and you talked to Steve Tucker about this case today.
Yeah, this was the first interview that the prosecutor has done since being handed the case file yesterday. He knows he has a lot of eyes on his office right now, waiting for him to make this decision. And despite the high-profile nature of the case and a personal connection, he says he is confident his office will handle the case fairly.
It's only 2 blocks away from where I grew up.
The neighborhood around the Creach plant farm in Spokane Valley is very familiar to Prosecutor Steve Tucker.
I bought plants at that place, you know, and rode bicycles by there when I was a kid. And my mom still lives there. So she's real concerned about this one, too. She just called me 2 nights ago to ask how I was doing.
It's that personal connection and the very different nature of this case that has Tucker anxious to crack open the 722-page file now sitting on his desk.
Of course, this was a pastor, you know, and that's stressed over and over again in the press. And it's pretty rare for someone like that to get involved in a shooting incident, so it's peculiar that way.
Tucker hadn't opened the file when he sat down with us this morning, but already he knows how different this is than other officer shooting cases he's handled. Often it takes months to get the full case file from police. This case took just 3 weeks, but it's not yet complete. He still hasn't received the medical examiner's report that lists the cause of death and any other injuries on Creach's body.
Questions like, how was the pastor's eyesight? You know, was his hearing okay? What was his blood results, his toxicology reports?
Early on, police were concerned the diabetic Creach may have been having a reaction and not able to understand or obey the deputy's commands. But the report reveals there is no evidence of an acute diabetic factor at the time of the shooting.
It's always more complicated than the average person realizes. This has moved a lot quicker than normal. And here's still 720 pages.
When it's time to decide on charges, he will ask for help from the 3 most senior prosecutors in his office. But when it comes down to the final decision, it's his to make, and one he doesn't take lightly.
It's a tragedy to think that somebody's dead in my neighborhood.